Hello everyone, welcome to Pabbly Connect. In this video, we are going to learn how to create invoice with Google Docs for BigCommerce order for multiple products. So here my objective is that whenever a new order will be placed in my BigCommerce store, which contains multiple products in the same order, I want to generate an invoice for that same order in Google Docs automatically. So how we are going to automate this entire process? For this, we will have to set up a connection between BigCommerce and Google Docs, and that we are going to do without any coding or programming skills with the help of an amazing automation software Pabbly Connect. So Pabbly Connect works on two principles, trigger and action. So in trigger we are going to take BigCommerce, and in action we are going to take Google Docs, and we will connect both of them in order to automate this entire process step by step. To learn this entire automation step by step, let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we are going to learn how to create invoice in Google Docs whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce for multiple products. So I'm selling my products with the help of BigCommerce, which is an amazing e-commerce store. And my objective is that whenever an order will be placed in BigCommerce, which contains multiple products in the same order, automatically an invoice should be created for that same order along with all the details in Google Docs. Okay, so we are going to create this automation step by step without any coding or programming skills by setting up a connection between BigCommerce and Google Docs, and that we are going to do with the help of this amazing automation software Pabbly Connect. So this is the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by tapping this URL pabbly.com/connect in our browser. After coming here, we will find two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, you can directly click on sign in. But if you're a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button to create your free new account. Also, when you will create your account, you will get 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. Now, as an existing user, I am directly clicking on sign in. This is the all app section where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create this automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. And it has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So on this dashboard, we can find all of our workflows which we have created, and we can also create folders here to save our workflows. As you can find, I have multiple folders over here. I have created them to save my workflows according to my choice. Okay. Now to create a new workflow, we have to click on this create workflow option. Let's do that. And here a dialog box will appear in front of us. It is asking us to provide a name to this workflow. So first of all, let us provide a name over here. Create invoice in Google Docs for BigCommerce order for multiple products. After giving the name here, we can select the folder in which we want to save this workflow. So I'm going to select automations for operations over here. And now let's click on create. As we have done that, we can find that two windows are open in front of us. First is the trigger and the other is action. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the two main concepts, as I told you, on which the entire automation of Pabbly Connect runs. Here the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the action is the response towards our trigger. So whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow, and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can have multiple actions as we want. Now here our objective is that we want to create invoice in Google Docs for every new BigCommerce order. Okay, so here let's suppose we are going to take BigCommerce in our trigger and Google Docs in our action, and we want that whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce, automatically an invoice should be generated in Google Docs. Okay, so here our action is following what the trigger commands, because when the trigger happens, that means when the order is placed in BigCommerce, then only action also happens. That means then only the invoice is generated, otherwise not. So after understanding the concept of trigger and action, let's start creating the workflow step by step. First of all, we will select our trigger application. Now our objective is that whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce, the response should be captured here in Pabbly Connect, and with that response, the workflow should get trigger. So BigCommerce will be our trigger application over here. And now we have to select the trigger event, that will be new order created. So whenever a new order will be created, the workflow will be triggered. Okay, let's click on connect. Now from the given options, I'm going to select add new connection to build a new connection with BigCommerce account. If you already have an existing connection, you can also go with that. Now when we have selected add new connection over here, we have to enter three details: client ID, access token, and store hash key. So we have to follow the instructions given over here step by step to get all these details. First of all, we have to go towards a BigCommerce account. Then we have to go towards store API account. Okay, and then we will find all the details. So first of all, you will enter client ID and access token. So I'm going to take you towards my BigCommerce account. It is given that you have to go towards BigCommerce account and then you have to go towards store API account. Under that, you will find the client ID and access token. So let's go there. So this is the dashboard of BigCommerce account. Now from here in the left side, we can find the option of settings. When you will select that, we have to scroll down until we will find the option of API. Now under API, we can find the option of store level API accounts. Let's select that. And it has taken us towards store level API accounts as given in the instructions in Pabbly Connect. Okay. Now to create a new API account, we have to click on this create API account button. And now we have to provide a name to this account which we are creating. So let's say I'm going to give the name as new order, okay, a random name. And now after giving the name to our API account, we also have to provide some scopes. We will go back towards Pabbly Connect, and here in the instructions you can find enable the following OAuth scopes. Any other scopes can be left as none. We have to enable these scopes given over here: content, customers, information and settings, marketing, order, products. Okay, so we will go back, and here I'm going to modify these scopes. Okay, first of all, I'm going to modify the content, all right, for customers, information and settings, marketing, orders, and for the products as well. So I have modified all the OAuth scopes which were mandatory. Apart from this, if you want, you can also modify other scopes as well according to your requirements. Now I will simply click on save, and we can find that now it has provided us client ID, client secret and access token. So first of all, let us copy the client ID. We will go back towards Pabbly Connect and we will quickly paste client ID over here in this field. We will go back, and now we have to copy the access token. Let's copy that, and we will simply paste it over here in the access token field. Now the turn is of store hash key. So from where we have to find the store hash key. It is given that you can find the store hash key in the path URL. Example is this. So for example, if the URL of your BigCommerce store is this, then this after stores will be your store hash key. So let's go towards BigCommerce account, and you can find that this is my URL. So in my URL, after this store hash, this is a key which is going to be my store hash key. So I will simply copy this, and I'm going to go back towards Pabbly Connect and paste it over here in the store hash key field. Alright. So in this way, you have to find all the details. Now click on save. And with this, we can find that BigCommerce is successfully connected with Pabbly Connect. So let's click on save and send test request button. And as we have done that, it is showing waiting for response. This means that now we have to do a test submission by placing a test order in BigCommerce so that the response will be captured here in Pabbly Connect. So let me take you towards my BigCommerce store, and these are the products which I have in my BigCommerce store. So I will simply buy some of the products from here. Let's suppose I'm going to buy this chair, comfort chair. I will simply click on add to cart. So I have added this comfort chair. Now I will go back, and because I want to place this order along with multiple products, so I'm going to buy some more products over here. Let's say I'm going to buy this empty mobile 11. I have added this to cart. Once again, now I'm going to buy this LED bulb. So I'm going to click on this add to cart button. I have added the bulb in my cart, and now I'm going to increase the quantity of this LED bulb, let's say to 3. Now you can find that I have 5 items in my cart. 1 comfort chair, 1 mobile and 3 LED bulbs. Alright. Now I'm going to place an order. We'll click on checkout button. And I will start entering the details of a customer in order to place an order. So let's start with the email. So I'm going to give a random email because I'm doing a test submission over here for placing a test order. Okay, so let's say the email of the customer will be testuser@pabblytudes.com. Here I'm going to click on continue, and here I'm going to enter the details one by one of the same customer. Let's start with the first name. Let's say the name of the customer will be test, and the last name will be user. User. Here the company name is optional, so I'm just going to ignore this field for now. I will enter a random phone number, address. So I have added all the details: first name, last name, phone number and the address of the customer. And now I'm going to click on continue to place the order. So now it is asking us to select the payment method. Here I'm going to select test payment provider because I'm doing a test submission. So I will be making a payment with a test card. Okay. So here I'm going to enter the card number, card name. So I have entered all the card details. Now I'm going to click on place order, and the order is placed. So let's go and check on Pabbly Connect. We will wait for a few seconds, and here we can find that yes, we have received a response of the new order which is recently placed on BigCommerce store. So this is store ID, this is scope, producer, hash key, data type, data ID and the created time. So we have received the order details over here, but not all details. We have not received any details related to the order, but we have received the order ID over here. So by using this order ID, now we are going to get the details of the order. Okay, so we have to go towards our action step, and in our action application, once again we have to select BigCommerce over here. Let's select that. Now we will select the action event. So our action event will be get order by ID. We will click on connect, and now because we have already built a connection, let's go with existing connection only. We will simply click on save, And here we can find that BigCommerce is successfully connected with Pabbly Connect again. Now here we have to provide the order ID. So we have already received the order ID in our earlier response. So we will simply map the order ID over here. Mapping is inserting data from previous step. Here our previous step is given and here are all the details. We will simply map the order ID and done. So because we have mapped this ID, it has become dynamic. Now it is going to change with each and every new response. That means whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce store, automatically the order ID will be replaced in this particular field with a new ID of that new order. But in case if we will enter it manually by copy and pasting or by typing, then it would have become static and then the order ID is not going to change with each and every new response. Then we will not be able to automate this entire process. Okay. Now after mapping the order ID, let's click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here we can find that yes, now we have received the details related to the order as well as the customers. Okay, so here we have received all the details, the country, the amount, the address of the customer. Okay, here's the phone number, email and first name as well as the last name of the customer. But here we can find that when we are scrolling, we cannot find anything related to the product. So we have still not received the product details, that means the product name and the quantity of the product being purchased in this particular response. Okay, so for getting that, we have to add one more action step. Now with the help of the same order ID, we are going to get the product details as well. So let's click on this add action step button. And now we will simply connect BigCommerce once again with Pabbly Connect. Let's select the action event this time as get product by order ID. So we will get the product details by order ID. Let's click on connect. And now from the given options, let's go with the existing connection only. We will simply click on save. And once again, BigCommerce is connected with Pabbly Connect. So let's quickly map the order ID once again. This is the order ID 102. We will simply click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here we have received the response. Now in the response, we can find that we have received the order details. Now in this response, we can find that we have received the details related to the product being purchased. Comfort chair, the name of the product, the amount of the product, the price of the product. All right. Here's the second product name, that is mobile phone, MT Mobile 11i. This is the price of the product and here is the third product being purchased, LED. Here along with the product name, we have also received the quantity being purchased. But you can find that we have received this data in a very scattered format. We have received the product name in different lines. We have received the quantity in different lines. So we will not be able to map the data for creating the invoice in further steps of this workflow. So we have to change this format of data which we have received. For that, what we will do, we will simply turn this simple response button off. And now we are going to click on Save and Send Test Request button. And now here we can find that this is the response in the combined format. So in this particular response, we have received all the details in the single line and in the combined format. So now we will simply separate this data and we will turn it into single key and value format. But when we will segregate this data, we will receive the response in which we will find that the product name will be in the single line, the quantity being purchased will be in the separate line, and same with the price. So for segregating this data, we are going to add one more action step over here, and that will be data transformer by Pabbly. So with the help of this feature, data transformer, we are going to transform our data according to our requirements. Here our action event will be line itemizer. Because we want to turn this combined and array format data into single lines, we are selecting line itemizer. Let's click on connect. And now we have to select line item array. So we will simply select the response which we have received in the advanced format, that is in the array format. Let's select that and we will click on Save and Send Test Request button. So here you can see the magic. This is ID of the product in the separate line, order ID, product ID, variant ID. Okay, name of the product in a single line, comfort chair, mobile and the LED bulb, name of the customer. Okay, base price of each product, tax price and the total amount. So now when we have segregated this data, let's move forward towards creating the invoice. So let's click on this add action step button. And now we are going to connect Google Docs with Pabbly Connect to create the invoice automatically for this order which is recently placed. So first of all, I'm going to take you towards Google Docs and this is the template of the invoice which I have already created. So this is the invoice for my company. It will contain all the details related to my company, the customer as well as the product being purchased. So you can find that in this particular template, I have used some of the details in two curly braces. So wherever I have applied two curly braces, automatically the data of that place will be replaced with a new data when a new response will be captured. So in this way, I'm going to use the same template to create multiple invoice for multiple orders automatically. So by using these curly braces, we have added a variable over here. So the details in that variable will be changed automatically. Okay. Now, because we want to create the invoice by using this template, we will go back towards Pabbly Connect and we will select Google Docs as our action application. And our action event here will be create document from templates, because we want to create a document by using the template. Let's click on connect. And because I've already built a connection with my Google Docs account, I'm going to go with existing connection only. To build a new connection, you need to click on this add new connection button, and then you have to click on this sign in with Google option. Okay. Now I'm going to click on save, and we can find that Google Docs is successfully connected with Pabbly Connect. Now we have to select the template name by using which we want to create the document. So here I have the template, that is invoice template. I have selected that. Now the next will be new document's name. So what should be the name of the document which you are creating? We are creating an invoice over here for different orders for different customers. So I want to give the name of each of the document as invoice for, and now I will simply enter the name of the customer. For entering the name, I will simply use mapping. So we have already received the details related to the customer in our earlier response. We will simply map the name of the customer. This is first name. I will use a space and I will map the last name as well. So we have mapped the full name of the customer. And because we have mapped this name, it is going to be replaced each time with a new response. But the data which we have entered manually, that is invoice for, will be same each time. So invoice for test user. This will be the name of our document. In the same manner, we are going to create multiple documents with different names like this. Now the next is new documents location, where you want to save the invoice after creating. So I will simply select this test folder over here, and now we will move further. Here we have to enter the name of the customer, email address, mobile number, invoice date, product, quantity, unit price, etc. So here let's start mapping these details one by one. So all these details are the same which we have added in our template in the curly braces. So when we will map the data in the workflow, automatically the details will be added in these places and the invoice will be created. So first of all, let's map the customer name, test. Now the next I will map is the email of the customer which we have received. Done. Mapping is really very easy process. We just have to select what we want to map either by scrolling, or even we can find over here in this search bar. So I want phone number, and it has redirected us towards the phone number of the customer. Let's map that. Okay. Now the next is invoice date. So we can find that we have received the invoice date in the timestamp format, but I want to enter the date in a different format and not in the timestamp format in the invoice. So for this, I will simply change the format of the date. For that, we have to click on this add action step button in between. And for formatting the date, we will use date time formatter over here, which is an amazing feature by Pabbly, which allows us to format the date and time according to our requirements. Here our action event will be format date only, because I only want to enter the date and not the time. Let's click on connect. And now here we have to enter the date which we want to format. So we have already received the date in the timestamp format. Let us select that, and it is mapped over here. Okay. Now the next, it is asking us to select the from format, that in which format we have received the date. This is in the timestamp format. So we will scroll down and we will select timestamp over here. Okay. The next is the to format, in which format we want the date. So I want the date in the simple format, that is year, month and date format. So I will simply select that and done. Let's click on save and send test request button. And here we can find that we have received the correct date in the correct format, 19/3/2024. Alright. Now we are going to simply map this date which we have received. Here is the invoice date option. In this response, we have received the correct format. Let's select that and it is mapped. The next is the product name, quantity of the product, unit price and the amount. So we have already segregated these details by using line itemizer. But here you can find that we have received the name of the product in the single line, but with the comma separated value. So I want to remove these commas with a next line. I want to enter each of the product name, quantity as well as the unit price in this particular invoice in separate lines, not in a single line. For that, what I'm going to do, I will simply replace the commas given in each of the fields with next line. So for this, we have to click on this add action step button in between, and we have to add one more action step over here, that will be text formatter by Pabbly. So with the help of text formatter, now we are going to format the text. Let's click on text formatter button, and here we have to select the action event, that will be replace text. So we want to replace the comma with next line. So I have selected the action event as replace text. Now let's click on connect. And now here we have to enter the text which we want to format. So first of all, I'm going to format the product name. Okay, so this is the product name, comfort chair, empty mobile 11 and LED bulb. We have selected this and it is mapped. Now we want to replace the commas given between the product name with a next line. So in find section, we will search for comma. We will enter comma over here. So automatically it will find the comma from this line and it will replace the comma with a next line. So I will simply enter the next line tag, that is \n. Okay, now let's click on save and send test request button, and here we can find that we have received the response, and in the response we can find that we have received 3 different lines for 3 of the products: comfort chair, empty mobile and LED bulb. So the comma is replaced with a new line. Now in the same manner, we will add 2 more action steps, and similarly, we will replace the comma for unit price as well as the quantity of the product. Okay. So once again, I'm going to select text formatter by Pabbly. And now in the action event, we will select replace text. Once again, let's click on connect. And here in the text, I will map the base price of the product this time. So this is the base price. I have mapped that, and now I want to remove the comma and I want to replace the comma with a next line \n. Let's click on save and send test request button once again. And here we have received the response. In the response, we have received 3 different lines for all the 3 unit prices. Now in the same manner, we will replace comma for the quantity as well. So I will simply select text formatter. In the action event, we will have to select replace text. Let's click on connect. And now quickly I'm going to map the data which I want to replace. So this time we want to replace the quantity of the product being purchased. We want to replace the comma with next line. Let's click on save and send test request button. And here we have received the correct response. Okay. Now we will simply map the data one by one over here for creating the document. First of all, we have to map the product name. We have already replaced the comma of the product name. So let's map that. Now the quantity and for the unit price as well. Now the next field is of amount. That means the total amount of all the products along with the quantity being purchased. So this is the total amount which we have received, 12,605. Let's select that and it is mapped. Now let's click on save and send test request button. And we can find that here we have received the response. Along with the response, we have also received the document ID. This means the document is created in Google Docs. So let's go and check. And here we can find that yes, an invoice is recently created over here for test user. This is the name of the invoice which we have given, invoice for test user. So this is the invoice you can see. So you can find that inbuilt to the name of the customer, test user is added. The email of the customer is also added over here, testuser@pabblytools.com, mobile number. This is the invoice date which we have added in the correct format. Okay, and here are the details of the order. You can find that the items are added in different lines: comfort chair, MT mobile 11i, LED bulb. The quantities are given in front of the item 1, 1 and 3, and the unit price are also given in the systematic format along with the total price. And here you can find that the total price is also given, 12,605. Alright, so this means that our workflow is perfectly successful, and now whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce, automatically the invoice for that order will be created in Google Docs. Okay, so let's check this workflow once again. Here I'm going to place another order this time. Let's say I want to purchase 2 of these comfort chair. So I'm going to click on add to cart button, and I'm going to increase the quantity of the chair to 2. And now I will go back and I will also purchase this mobile phone. I'm going to click on add to cart button, and now I'm going to click on checkout button. So let's say the customer email this time will be demoUser@pabblytools.com. I'm going to click on continue, and here I'm going to enter the details. Let's say the name will be demo, the last name will be user, the phone number. I've added all the details, and now I'm going to make the payment. So I've added all the details of the card and I've placed the order. So as soon as the order is placed, let's go and check whether automatically the invoice is generated in Google Docs for this order or not. And yes, here you can find that order invoice for demo user is created and added over here. Let me open that. So this is a new invoice recently generated for demo user. This is the email and the phone number, and these are the quantity, unit price and total price of the order. Alright, so this means that our workflow is perfectly successful. So let's go back towards Pabbly Connect and we will summarize what we have done here in the workflow. So we have taken very simple steps, trigger and actions. In trigger, we have taken BigCommerce, and in action, we have taken BigCommerce, data transformer, date time formatter, text formatter and Google Docs. And we have connected all these applications with the help of Pabbly Connect in such a way that now whenever a new order will be placed in BigCommerce which contains multiple products in that, automatically an invoice will be generated in Google Docs for that same order along with all the details. Alright, so this was it in this video. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can integrate many other applications by using Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can directly reach out to us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to ask any pricing related issue, then you can directly reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful in any way, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also, please like our videos and subscribe our channel to learn more such automations.